Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning into the latest edition of FranCoach's Franchisee 101 podcast. I'm Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of FranCoach and your podcast host. Today, we are going to talk about a tiny little piece of the overall process that people are going to go through when they start vetting franchises, but it is actually one of the top 3 things that will ultimately help you find your best franchise. It has nothing to do with money, by the way. It is really hidden. Most people don't have any clue this is even something they should think of, but it becomes, again, really one of the 3 biggest factors in not only finding your best fit, but your long-term success. Kind of important, right? We're going to touch on that here in a moment. First, quick reminder of who we are. FranCoach is the premier franchise consulting firm. Our number one goal is not to sell you a franchise. We don't sell anything at FranCoach. Our number one thing is to properly educate you on franchise ownership to determine if you should own one. Maybe you're not. But you're listening to this, so there's certainly some curiosity. But maybe this is the pathway for you. And if so, we're then going to focus on what is your absolute best fit. This is the most individualized and personalized thing you're going to do outside of maybe getting married. So let's make sure it is your best thing, not somebody else's, not mine, not your buddies, neighbors, girlfriends, uncles, aunts. Franchise, your best fit. You can follow that. I don't know. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. So what are the 3 most important things? We've talked about this before, but 3 most important things. First and foremost is owner role. You are the one that's got to get your booty out of bed every day and go run your franchise. And we've had some episodes, and we'll go into this in great detail with all of our clients, but figuring out what you want that to look like. Okay. Time you're spending, things you're doing, things you're not doing. So number 1, owner role. Number 2 is people. When we have our guests on from a franchise space, one of the very first things we talk about with them, or questions I ask, is like, give me their story. Franchising is a people business, not just the industry, but your specific like world of it with whatever you're going to own. So when we talk about people, what do we mean? We mean staff. A couple of weeks ago, we talked specifically for 2 weeks in a row about staff and how important that is. So the people that are your staff, your customers. When you own a business, it's a good idea to have customers. Who are they? How do we find them? Why did they buy from us? What's the stickiness with that? Kind of that leads into the core of who you are and what that business stands for. And then in the community, what kind of people are you connecting with? Why? What does that business stand for? So all of those people components. So owner role and the people. And number 3 is the franchisor themselves. And when we talk about the franchisor themselves, we're not talking about the it. Like, well, it's this franchise sells cheeseburgers. This franchise cleans your bathroom. Again, does industry matter? Yes, it does, but it is really such an overall insignificant piece of this. What matters with this within the franchise is going to be a few things. Is their overall support structure, their leadership, their culture. So think about this from a support. First off, I'm going to talk about the people component of the franchise, the leadership team. And eventually, as you go through this, and if we back up, by the time we've connected you to franchises, we've already gone through at least 3 different steps to build out what you want. Now we're connecting you with the franchisors, and that discovery process is a 6 to 8 week journey. There'll be, a dozen or more steps before we ever get all the way to the end, and you are ready to sign a franchise agreement. And again, a small point, the franchise has to want you to sign the franchise agreement, right? So during that process, at the beginning, it's more learning about the overall brand. You've got somebody that's guiding you through this. They're a franchise development person. But eventually, you're going to get a chance to meet their leadership team. And then ultimately, you're going to meet their team at the, wait for it, meet the team day. Sometimes you'll hear discovery day or confirmation day or whatever. It's the big thing at the end, okay? When you are doing that, I always tell people to kind of think about, do I feel like I'm in the right room? Right? Do I, can I really lock into the vision of the leaders? Do I look at them and do I have trust? Does it feel like, and again, kind of the gut, does it feel like they know what the hell they're doing? Does it feel like they are the people that are going to support me? Okay. The facts are, we're going to support you by doing this, and this. Okay. That obviously that is important as well, but you got to be able to have that connection with them. Do you need to be besties with everybody along the way? Well, no, of course not. Right. But again, almost everybody we're looking at has been in a leadership role, right? Or has that leadership capability, and you're about to become a franchise owner. So you sure as hell better have the desire to be a leader. As you look across the table, virtually or in person, at the leaders of that franchise, again, how are you feeling with that? The support aspect of this is, again, one, the people. Does it feel like, again, sorry, I don't know how to better say this. Does it feel like they give a damn about you and that they're going to? But also from a support standpoint within that franchisor, every franchisor has support in basically every area. That's the whole point of a franchise. That's why you're looking at this and not starting something from scratch where you got to figure all of this out. But every franchise is, no different than any human being. We all have things we're good at or not so good at, right? Probably got a couple of things that we suck at, okay? So as you're going through this, and our team's going to help you, is understand where are the things that you're in pretty good shape. Like, hey, I'll always take a little support and some help, but I need a little bit less in this area. But man, I'm bad over here, right? Or for this business model, having an extra hand that the franchisor is giving me is hugely important, right? And so understanding that and being able to look and go, I don't know the first thing about marketing. This franchise has all of this in-house. They've got a whole team of people and they're going to help me with right? Oh, okay. I can learn enough to understand it. They're going to help me and coach me on how to implement everything. Great. Well, the next person, that may be their background. Maybe they need a little bit less there. A home service franchise that's allowing you to start, hey, it's just me and my tech out in the field, but I've got to get out and I've got to be talking with customers. I've got to be networking in the community. I don't have time to answer the phone. And this is the goal of this franchise, is a little lower overhead. So gosh, I don't want an office yet. That's not anything I'm ready for. I'm not ready to hire like an office manager yet. Great. This franchise has a call center. Every single inbound call they're answering, they're booking, whatever. So understanding kind of where you personally and professionally, right? And in this case, in some cases, financially, where do you need the most support? How do you receive the support, right? We don't all take it the same way. And then how does that franchise align with that, right? The other piece of the franchisor, and probably a little remiss on this because internally we talk about this a lot, that it's not talked about enough, if that makes sense. But other franchise owners in that system, this is a huge potential resource for you. So even if we back up before we meet the team day, as you're going through validation calls with everybody, with your owners, how are those calls going? Are they, and again, there's not a right or wrong. Some may be very, maybe it's a group call and they're very structured and there's a lot of things going on. Others may be a one-on-one call with owners and they really take a ton of time to kind of sit there with you and have conversations. What's best for you with that? But being able to, even if this isn't something you think you need, I would tell you to be really conscious of those calls with the owners, and not so much their happiness, but their willingness to share with one another. And certainly their comments on support from the franchisor. When they need something, does it come from the franchise, or is it like pulling teeth, or do they just give up because they know they're not going to get it? But are those owners also willing to share and help? There are some franchise systems where it may happen, but it's not really encouraged or kind of promoted that way. There are other franchises where I can pretty much guarantee people are going to go through validation calls, and those owners at the end are going to go, hey, you got my info, call me back, right? Shoot me an email, a text, whatever. You have any more questions, you get started, holler at me. Like, let me know. I'm here to help you with this. owners that have any level of awareness in any franchise realize that they probably messed something up at the beginning, and being able to now have somebody and maybe a few somebodies in that owner group that are willing to help you, right? From that, again, all under that franchisor umbrella. And then sometimes you'll get an opportunity, maybe on a group validation call, but certainly at Meet the Team Day, you might be around some other candidates. All of this, I'm going to always say the phrase, do you feel like you're in the right room? Or are you the misfit and the odd, like, which one of these is not like the other? Maybe that's not the right brand for you. Doesn't mean that's a bad franchise. Doesn't mean they're bad people. Doesn't mean you are. It's just not the right. This becomes your family, right? Every family's probably got that crazy uncle. And if you don't, it might be you. But same thing with the franchisor. Again, you don't have to be besties, but you want to, again, feel like you're in the right room. You've got the right people, the vision, the leadership, the support to be able to help you once you become a franchise owner. I had somebody a couple years ago was at Meet the Team Day, and he shoots me a text, and this is maybe like 30 minutes into the day. And literally the text was, "I've already made my decision." I'm like, oh, wow. Is that good? Is that bad? And then comes the long text. Well, the CEO of the franchise got up in front of him, was in person. And the CEO lays out that franchisor's vision statement and mission statement. Okay. And this is where our client was locked in right then, because the client's comment was, this was a human being that had kind of written down his own personal mission and vision statement, which kudos to him for that. But he goes, it was almost word for word, right? From that standpoint. And so he knew he was in the right place. And his mind at that point switched to, am I still trying to decide if this is the right thing, to I'm already in operational mode. So when all the support people started talking, he wasn't listening to, should I do this? He was already thinking about running his business. That mission and vision just clicked for him. Again, the people with this. So now how do you know this, right? Like, well, each franchise, and we say this all the time, you can have two franchises in any industry. And this happens in every industry. So you have two franchises that look the exact same to the consumer on the surface, but yet are completely different behind the scenes. How do you know those differences? Because they're proprietary. It's not stuff that you can Google. Well, guess what, folks? That's us at FranCoach. That makes a humongous difference. There's reasons why when we connect people to franchises, and yes, they're going to be in different industries, but there's going to be some things behind the scenes that we need you to be able to see. Big franchise, parent company, small franchise, emerging franchise, sister brands, no sister, like all of these different things that, again, we could ask these questions throughout the process where we're building this out in our first couple calls or in our client profile, but you're going to have no way in the world of being able to answer that accurately, right? So us knowing all those behind the scenes things, getting to know you, and now letting you see 1, 2, 3, right? Yes, all the other things, but that the franchisor, their people, their leadership, their vision, their culture. I know that's a little buzzy, but it doesn't mean it's less true. That's how you're going to be able to figure this out. And again, when we say this, and I got a couple of things coming for us here in the next few weeks, hitting back on the money, because everybody wants to think that's super important at the beginning. The money follows the fit, folks. And if you can't find a franchise with your ideal owner role, you're not around the right people in your entity, the staff, customers, and in the community, and then that franchisor does not align with you, I don't care how much money everybody else is going to make in the franchise, in that franchise system, you'll never get there because it does not fit. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be unhappy. You might as well stay in that crap ass job you got right now. Okay. So every time you hear people in franchising leading with money, talking about money without understanding you, I would be very, 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 very aware of that might not be the person that's there to help me, or that might not be the best franchise to help me, because this is all about you. It is the absolute most individualized and personalized process, maybe next to getting married, with this. And frankly, you're not investing money in getting married necessarily, whereas you are with this. And sure as hell can't sell that spouse to the next person along when you're ready to get out of the marriage. With the business, you can. So owner role, people within your unit, staff, customers, community, and the franchisor, their support, their leadership, their culture, their other owners. Are you in the right room? This is the touchy-feely stuff. Does it feel like you're in the right spot? If so, you found your match. How to find that? Again, that's us at FranCoach. We are always here to help you. So when you're ready to kind of take this from, I've been thinking about this, I want to learn a little bit more, now it's time for you to take that next step and reach out to our team at francoach.net, and we'll walk you through all of this. Okay. So anyway, I hope that helps. And really all of these things with our podcast, we hope it provides some insight into the amazing possibilities, but into a lot of the little kind of micro topics and things that you wouldn't normally think of that are hugely, hugely important in you finding your best match. Please, if you haven't, like, subscribe, follow wherever you are catching our podcast. Thank you for that. Our YouTube channel, FranCoach for You, the number 4, the letter U. All of our podcasts are there. Our Franchising 360 show, TV show with co-host and my better half, Danielle Wright. Those are all there as well. Plus some more YouTube, just kind of basic YouTube stuff. All of our social media, just hook us up, man. You're listening. Please, we would love to hear any feedback, any comments that you have for that. When you are ready to take that step and start learning more specifically for you, reach out to our team at FranCoach. Again, francoach.net is where you're going to find all of us. There is never, ever any fee for our service. So what are you waiting for, man? Reach out, take that first step, and let us help you create your better tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week.